It's the bass.
First, hi, my name is Amadi.
AKA.
Family friend. There's AKAs for me? I didn't know. But a family friend of Ugo's. And yeah, a proud educator and a travel enthusiast.
Traveler. Okay.
The host of what, though? The host of what?
Oh, yes. So the host of Trippin with Amadi YouTube channel.
I want a t-shirt. I need a t-shirt. Like I need that.
Get a t-shirt.
I need a t-shirt, a hoodie. I want to be rocking that since I just rock Marvel shirts and cowboy stuff. Like I need.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So you got a YouTube channel, Trippin with Amadi. Like what for the guests, how would you best describe or summarize like your?
Wait, let's guess what this show is about. Let's just take a wild
people
guess.
bugging out.
React videos.
It's like ridiculousness, pretty much.
Is that all the guesses?
No, we're just talking crap. Like I actually watched the channel already. So
okay. But yeah, so it's a travel channel. So right now I'm just showing people like where I go and the places that I've been. But moving forward, the goal is to show the like history side or like give really informative tips when you are going to travel and also representing in those places. So.
all right, dope. Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. And then we have a second guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Husani, aka Houdini.
Oh yeah.
I done shed more tears than the white man has fears.
Hey,
I love it.
damn.
Now
I don't even know what questions to ask after that. Yeah, bro, it's going to get
He
deep.
practiced this. I didn't know we had to have a practice.
I didn't. I'm freestyling.
Oh,
Artist corner.
Off the dome, off
Yeah,
the toupee. I see you.
Exactly. Nah. But yeah, that was a Martin reference for anybody who didn't catch it. Also,
And-
that's my sister. If y'all didn't guess, or y'all know. That's it. Well, if you didn't, you know.
Would have never
no,
imagined.
I didn't know. I just assumed because you guys look alike, but
Yeah.
you know.
And I also said hi, mom, when his mom came.
That was kind of a giveaway
that
too.
was a giveaway. See?
Y'all mom. You said his mom like it's just his. Y'all mom.
Yeah,
It's like when you watch a movie and then you miss a minor detail, like, oh shit, they're related. He said, oh fuck. Like, that's what just happened.
Yeah.
Well, he's her. That's his mom when she does something crazy. She's my mom. She's like awesome.
Fair enough.
which is rare.
Husani, are you on the YouTube as well?
No.
On the YouTube.
Nah.
Are you on the YouTubes?
He's not on the YouTubes.
I move in silence.
He just
like the G in lasagna.
He just came back. He just came back to social media like 6 months ago. So he was on hiatus for a while.
Yeah, just call or text me. I mean, that's not happening, but you get the point.
Yo, so how do y'all know Ugo? Like from what? How'd y'all meet?
I went to school with this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The hate. Yeah, this is the low key roast presented by Comedy Central. Yeah, Husani was were you a year behind me or 2 years behind me? He was a year behind me at St. Benedict's Prep.
07.
He was in 07. I was in 06. St. Benedict's Prep, the Gray Breeze, all that good stuff. Newark, Brick City, all that good stuff. We're both East Orange natives though, so EO, all that good stuff.
Did you say EO?
EO.
EIO.
You got to be from East.
No, it's just EO.
No,
EO.
EO.
Oh, wait,
EO.
that's a thing.
Yes, it is.
Did you throw signs for it too? Can you do
Yeah,
it?
EO.
Oh my god.
You got to be from there. If you're not from there, you're not going to see
Wait,
that.
where's everyone? Where's everyone from?
I'm from Orange East.
He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. He's from Staten Island.
Oh God. Oh God. The wolf. Oh no. Yeah.
You ready for season 2?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Wait, when's it coming out?
Wait.
September.
The 13th.
I need to get back on that Wu kick, man. When I first saw that first season, I did nothing but listen to Wu-Tang.
Oh, they filmed a bunch in East Orange in EO, you haters. So hey, they did. Just saying.
Yo,
What is this? What is
bro,
this?
that's gonna be a new thing. I'm gonna just say EO for no reason, out
You're
of
not,
context,
you're not
everywhere.
from there. It's not
I
even
know.
sound
That's
right.
Oh,
That's what I'm gonna do it. I'm
Oh
just
my
gonna be
God.
like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, yo, EO, bro. Like, I'm gonna just do it.
Come get this guy, man. Come get him right now. Please come get this guy.
Okay, so where are you from?
Me? I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's from Brooklyn. I'm doing the Hollywood Squares point. I don't even know if it aligns with your screens.
It doesn't.
But
It
yeah,
doesn't.
not at all. Like I'm pointing here. I'm
Yeah,
probably and DK. He's from the Heights.
Okay.
But we're currently housemates.
Okay.
Yeah.
DK,
what's good?
how'd you feel about
The movie?
that Lin-Manuel project, man?
I actually haven't seen it.
Okay.
To be
Wait,
honest with you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, where the Dominicans at?
Yeah, I think that the colorism thing. I think I saw some headlines about that shit. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it, bro. I mean, it's like it's there's so many. Yeah, it just says a lot, to be honest.
Are you talking about In the Heights?
Yeah.
But is the fault on Lin-Manuel or is the fault on the casting director and the director itself?
Well, honestly, it's probably the casting director, honestly, because depending on how big the basically creator or the artist is whose name is like attached to it, he could be just the face of it. So he might not be he might not be necessarily an executive he might be listed as an executive producer. This is how like films and TV shows come about.
Big.
Yeah,
anyone can be.
Exactly.
You could put $1 in and you could be executive producer.
Just because you donated to like a movie, like Brad Pitt usually does. Oh, he's an executive producer of 12 Years a Slave. He got an Oscar for that. He had nothing to do with the movie. He just donated to it. He got an Oscar.
It's hard to know
He acted.
Oh yeah, he did some acting.
He was like he was a good white man, right?
Yeah, he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones.
Good white men in slavery.
Oh yeah, he was like that carpenter or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to soften the image. I'm like probably racist, but I'm not gonna beat you. Like
Right. I'm racist, but not like
but not that racist. Not like
one of the good ones.
I know something's wrong.
Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't see In the Heights. I heard mixed sort of reviews. I heard it was overall a good movie, but I don't know. I don't watch movies like that generally.
What if the Dominicans just didn't dance as good as the Puerto Ricans, so they decided to keep the Puerto Ricans?
Wait,
I don't think that's how it works.
No,
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Oh God!
The director made I think it's outlandish, but a comment because there was like a reporter. I think she was like from The Root, and she was like, "Why are only like the dark skinned individuals dancers, background dancers?" And
we know.
Sorry. She was like, where's the representation of darker skinned people? And then he said, well, they're background dancers. They're still in representation. And it's just like,
oh boy,
is that?
They had a black character though. The guy on the taxi guy.
He wasn't even Latino. He was just a regular black guy.
So
here's a regular black guy. So that was his role.
So having not even seen the movie, I'm curious, what would make the people that are complaining about it? What scenario would have been satisfactory? Like I'm just curious because
I can answer that.
But I know the general like sort of like complaint. So is the complaint like there wasn't someone in a prominent position that wasn't darker skinned, or like was it who was casted? Like what's really sort of like the just so I can understand it, because I haven't seen the movie.
So are you asking like what could be the remedy to this, or what were people asking for? Well,
both, I guess. I guess it's like a multifaceted question. Like what were people, I guess, expecting and asking for, and then what would be, I guess, more ideal compared to like what was what was more ideal compared to the final product?
I mean, I personally can't speak to that community because I'm not part of it, but from my understanding, it's just more representation, because understanding individuals who live in that area, it's not just light-skinned Latinx people. You have multiple complexions, people who have roots from Africa and all those different things, so you want that to be represented representing that area. So that's what people were asking for instead of essentially like a whitewashing. But what was interesting is one of the lead actors identifies herself as African. So,
well, I mean, I got. No, my fault. Go ahead. I got a question, but you go ahead. We'll go. I can ask after.
What's interesting about this conversation is that, especially with stuff that's like embedded in like minorities or multi-ethnic scenarios and whatnot, there's always going to be a percentage, especially with the digital age that we live in, that are going to be mad about something. They're going to be mad about something just for the sake of being mad about. So it's funny when you mentioned your question, like what is going to appease the masses? There is no appeasing, because like most of the people that, I guarantee you a percentage or a sector of the people that were even complaining, they watched the movie, but they were going to talk shit and complain about something regardless. Whether like how big or how small it was, they'd have been like, well, we didn't like the song choice, or the food, the way the food was made, or the way they were dancing, or the way they were dressed. They'd have found something to complain about, because they do it with music, they do it with movies, they do it with TV shows, they do it with anything that's entertainment based. And they even do it with sports, obviously. Shocker, because again, everybody has a voice, everybody has an opinion, everybody can tweet, everybody's a journalist. So, but especially something that's as polarizing as race and ethnicity, of course they're going to find something to complain about. It's a polarizing hot topic, and so to really answer your question, if you want the real answer, there's nothing that could be done that was going to appease them.
Oh yeah, I mean. So
wait, I got a question here.
Okay.
So I want to I'm going to say a few things, and it's like not necessarily that I agree with it, but just things that I kind of like want to point out. Because like I was watching something a little while ago where they were talking about just Hamilton, right, and the fact that Hamilton and like In the Heights, right, they're Broadway shows, right, and there's certain issues about race that they kind of glance over in those things. And why is that? Well, because the type of people that are going to go to Broadway shows are white people, right? So it's like you're making the show for this specific type of audience, even if you want it for someone, for somebody else, you'd like to express yourself for some, for something else, right? The capitalist side of it, or just the reality is specifically like the Broadway shows, right, is that they're not made for us. They're made for old white people to go watch, right, and to enjoy it. So Disney's a little bit different, right, because Disney, right, it's a family company, whatever. But at the end of the day, who's the target audience, right, and what do they want to see? Do they want to see more light-skinned people, or do they want to see black people? I'm just wondering, because I don't think that it's like you can't cast a show like that, in my opinion, and not think about like the color of people's skin on that shit, specifically like the different tone. I don't believe that didn't come up before then. Like that to me is silly. So like they probably weighed out the pros and cons of like whatever and just said fuck it. But I don't know. But I'm just thinking like we're not the first people to bring this shit up for damn sure. But it's just like at the end of the day. And it sucks, some people just want to, they're trying to sell a movie to a specific audience. So, like, maybe that's why everyone turned out super light-skinned.
That's very interesting, because about Hamilton, I guess on the other side of the spectrum, like, I was reading things, and this is sort of like a fringe sort of complaint, but I was reading the fact that there were people of color in Hamilton. There was, like, this whole sort of side of the internet that was just going crazy of this sort of, like, blackwashing of history. Like, Hamilton wasn't... you know what I mean? It was like this weirdo sort of like, like completely missing the fucking point. But I mean, piggybacking off what you said about being marketable and things like that is very interesting. I was reading an article, and we kind of know this, but we don't think about it in these terms necessarily. Is that every sort of Broadway show or movie or television show is almost like a venture capital project, where it's like you're going to different investors, whether it be a company, whether it be individuals, and you're all pulling this money together for something that may or may not make money at all, because most movies really don't make, don't break even. The ones that do hit it big, so it's like, like what Jose said, they take in all of these factors. They're like, okay, who do we want casting? Do we need big names? Do you want, up and coming stars. What color we want them to be? Do we want to target a certain audience? Do we want to target sort of a broad audience? Is very sort of like there's the artistic element of actually creating a piece of art and creating a movie, but then there's the capitalistic sort of element where it's just like, how do we make as much money as possible? How do we sort of please our investors, sort of like a company would?
Oh, yeah. Business.
So
capitalism is America.
One more comment. I kind of want to increase the scope of the audience, right? Because like we're pretty much like is Disney marketing this to the world, right? Because the world has a problem with different, right, with dark skin, period, like a bunch of different cultures. So
Disney didn't do In the Heights, DK.
I tried, and they said no.
No, Disney didn't do In the Heights.
What did they do?
Disney did Hamilton. In the
What
Heights,
up?
HBO.
Oh, In the Heights wasn't Hamilton. I mean, In the Heights wasn't Disney.
Nah.
No, so technically it's Time Warner since it was HBO Max. So it's
same
Time
thing.
Warner.
he actually flipped his pen. That's funny.
Just saying.
Same thing applies. Insert company with too much money.
Yeah.
It's all about massaging the political connects. Bringing up Drake's album. I'm gonna show you the connection right now. So a lot of people.
Oh man.
A lot of people are mad that he wasn't rapping, right? And they keep saying, why you have Little Baby? Why you got Future? Why you got all these new up-and-coming rappers? It's because he's in a political space now where he has to make music for a lot more people than just his niche crew.
Yeah,
Same thing
facts.
with the movies. I got to make this movie for more than just this people. I'm trying to make this shit bigger than what it is. So if I got to dispose of a couple of Dominicans to make this
But I
shit,
think going to his
It's a good
going
point.
back
It's a
to
good
what
point.
he was saying in terms of like audience, I think a lot of the times the assumption is the brander or broader audience will always be white. And it's just like, well, why do we constantly make that assumption? Are Black people not into theater, or Asians not into theater? Like, we make this assumption that the broader it is, the wider it is. And that's not necessarily the fact, but then we make it quote unquote palatable to that. So it's just like when we ask, like, who is this audience? They make the assumption that it's like a white audience. And like when you were talking about like theater, there was this show with Saul Williams. I think Saul Williams is in it, and it was about like Tupac. It was like this Broadway play, and it didn't last long because at the end of the day, like, it was a really great play, but who are the audience that were going to see it, right? Like, when we talk about specifically like niche things like a Broadway performance, yeah, we know that rich, older white people are going to get to have more access. But when you talk about like entertainment, that can get to the internet, because that can be easily accessible, why do we get this assumption that it was like, oh, it's going to be all white people? Let's make it more powerful.
No, it's true. I mean, going back to music, Fab, that's a great point. People would complain for years. They were like, well, this artist is always going to sell because they would say that an artist, especially a Black artist, really makes it when you go to their shows and it's nothing but white people, or they're selling out arenas, or they're selling out to the white masses. They're basically, there's this myth that Black people don't buy albums, or Black people don't show up to arenas or stadiums or live shows. It's a myth. It is a myth. I think that again, a part of it's myth and part of it is rooted in common sense. There are more white people in America. It's called the majority for a reason. Blacks are a minority. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yes, more whites are gonna buy albums because there are more white people. Like, duh, 2 + 2 is 4. But this myth that Blacks don't support their own, money wise, is nonsense. You know what I mean? Blacks supported Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Prince, everybody you can imagine under the sun, regardless of like their whatever they were going through in real life. They freaking supported them through thick and thin. So this myth that,
even
OJ, it's a great point. OJ.
Yeah, even when they shouldn't be, even past the point where they should be supported, facts, like they get supported. Yeah.
Facts. That's the point I was making. Facts.
Yeah.
So it's myth.
The base does not support R. Kelly.
The base does not support R. Kelly.
Oh my God. As an aside, bro,
Wait, what happened to him?
Like, how did we?
He's gonna say something negative about her.
He probably was. That's why you cut off.
Oh wait, did I cut off? Oh shit, did I cut off?
R. Kelly cut you off from
from
prison.
Oh fuck, the NSA was like, nah.
No, we're not doing that. We don't do that to you.
No, what I was saying about R. Kelly is like, it's crazy because we collectively knew about R. Kelly for like 2 fucking decades.
Facts.
And he just got a hall pass. And then there's other people like that. There's like fucking Woody Allen. Like there's just mad there's mad people out there who just get my man who just get hall passes because and man, like I think we had this on another episode when we talked about separating the art from the artist. It's like it's okay to consume their art even though the artist is like trash, right? Like you can say R. Kelly has a ridiculous like collection, like you know what I mean, or like Woody Allen is like prolific filmmaker. Do you still support them despite their their real life tendencies? I don't know. My answer is like, nah. I mean, I was never really into either of them to begin with, so like I don't have a dog in the fight. But my answer is kind of like, no. Like you could say objectively that their art is prolific and still say that they're a piece of shit person because the measure of their art isn't necessarily a measure of their character. So I don't know.
Wasn't R. Kelly credited on the Drake album?
Yes, he was. He was credited as a writer on
I think he sampled half on a baby.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, that's funny. I mean it's not funny, but it's funny.
If you want to trigger somebody on following despite anything, trigger Fab with Kanye.
Kanye.
I was going to defend Drake based on that.
Okay.
Drake had a snippet from the guy from 3 6 Mafia who passed.
Oh yeah, Pimp C. Not Pimp C. Was it Project Pat? Was it Project Pat? I forget. It's one of those guys from Houston.
In the beginning of the song, because the background had R. Kelly's song in the background, he had to give the credit to R. Kelly because
he sampled the sampler.
Yeah,
basically, yeah,
pretty much.
He would have got sued otherwise. So
yeah,
I got my Drake. As far as Donda now, I do want to get on Donda.
I couldn't finish the first song that says Donda, 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 Donda. Yeah, I was like, you know what? Maybe next year.
It's a heartbeat.
And then I switched.
Oh man. That's another thing we could talk about, like the fact that this quick reaction or the quick take or the hot take of like consuming music. I don't want to sound like the angry old guy, like the angry Joe Budden who like hates everybody. But
proceeds to say some angry old guy shit, but back in my day, we actually listened to music before we had an opinion. Oh, we had CD players back in my day.
We had CD players and cassettes and vinyls and 8-tracks and 45s back in my day. But no, all jokes aside, like I was talking about this Laserdisc, yeah. I was talking about this with my homie from grade school. We were Facebook friends, and he was basically saying, "I don't know how you guys." He was ranting.
Old as fuck.
He was right on his soapbox. He's like, he made a whole status. He was like, "Yo, it's crazy how you guys are basically can come up with an opinion about 2 albums that have like 20 plus tracks in like a day. Like, bro, like these are in essence 2 double CD albums." Like an LP is an LP, like as I can talk in artist speech. An LP is about 13 tracks. An EP is 4 tracks. So Kanye's album had 27 tracks altogether. 27. Drake's had 21. So in essence, you got 2 double CDs that came out within days of each other, and all of a sudden everybody has a full length motion picture.
You got to sit with it.
Review of it. No, exactly. You got to sit with it. I'm not saying. No, go ahead.
But
these damn kids.
If they don't get your body going.
Yeah, because like for people who this is their life, like they have to have something because the next person is gonna have something. So if you don't have, if you don't have like your response within the next 24 hours, it's just like nobody's really trying to hear you.
Facts.
And unfortunately, you can't sit with something. Like, granted, I'm not like a music journalist or anything like that, but like even with like casual conversation, like because I haven't heard the Drake album yet, and I've already been shunned from certain people.
Exactly. Yep.
You haven't heard the Drake.
Yeah, man. You gotta respect the Don Cheadle, the algae rhythm.
You haven't.
You know,
The algae.
The references.
Man.
No, and I can speak of it. I can speak as an artist as well as a journalist myself. It's like, okay, say the standard record is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. What goes into that 3 minutes and 30 seconds sometimes is weeks and months to get that 3:30 perfect to the satisfactory level for the artist as well as the production team as well. You know what I mean? So you know, go ahead.
So because it took you long and you didn't create hot Dylon, I'm supposed to just say, let me listen to this shit 17 more times because it's not Dylon. No, nigga, this shit's trash, bro. I don't need
no, I think what he's trying to say is
I don't gotta do this shit again.
Hot Dylon. As if that's a
Oh,
Jay-Z
man.
did Blueprint in like a weekend, right?
Come get this guy. Well, he did Magna Carta in like a weekend too, like less than a weekend.
Yeah, and it showed.
Yeah, it definitely showed.
Oh God. Yeah.
I enjoyed all of it.
Tyler Perry movie.
So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, there's like sort of like music is subjective. Like there is some objectivity to it, right? But there's a lot of subjectivity, and it's like if something doesn't resonate with you immediately, like I'm kind of the same way. Like I'll give a song a chance, but if I don't hear anything in 30 seconds, what I'll do, I might like skip to the track and see if I hear something, and if it doesn't, I probably won't revisit it. You know, just because there's just so much to consume. Like there's just so much to consume. Like I don't know if I want to, and I'm not like super into like music, so there are a lot of things about the creation and about, you know, the content itself that I probably don't even have the knowledge to appreciate anyway. So it's like if it doesn't resonate with me, I'm probably just listening to some other shit or like listening to something I already know I'm gonna like, you know. So yeah, I mean, I get that.
I have a question. Do you guys think that you consume music differently since the pandemic? Now that you are more inside your homes?
Oh, I think so. I can answer that twofold because when I started making music back in 2009, it changed how I viewed music altogether. From the people that I liked to new artists to different genres to different countries. Because now I understand the process. You talk to somebody that makes film, like, and ask them, how do you watch movies now since you started making film, whatever year it was? Different. It's completely different. But definitely pandemic wise, though, to be more relevant to your question, yes. Because like with quarantine, I had all this free time on my hands since I was working from home. It's like, I'd put on songs or I'd put on instrument beats or whatever while I'm, working on whatever I'm working on. And like, I really do a deep dive and really take the time to just really just dive in and see like lyrics, how it's composed, how it's arranged, subject matter, rhyme scheme, cadence, all that good stuff. So, but I can say yes on both counts.
So you're basically saying Jake album is a 10 out of 10.
I've only heard like 3 tracks on it. But I'm impartial because I love Drake.
Reading the question, counselor.
Drake can do nothing. He can do no wrong in my book. You guys know that.
Hold on.
I love
Wait, that means you're not impartial, bro.
What are you talking about?
You're biased.
Yes.
I know. With the E.O.
You said you're impartial.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
See, that's that Drake influence, bro.
I'm biased. Drake can do no wrong in my book. So his album was a 10.
I want to hear everyone else's answer. How have you consumed music now since the pandemic?
My answer is going to be short. I have no nuanced answer. It's the same shit. I'll listen to music when I feel like it. That's it. No change. Zero change. My answer sucks, but no change.
Mine's been the same, but like the older I get, the less like new music I like listen to. Like,
that's facts.
Just like what I do is that like when I'm like doing work or studying, like I put on some like instrumentals and stuff like that. Once in a while I put like a random playlist, and then I'll come across a new artist, and then I'll just like listen to the artist for like a few weeks like straight. But like that's few and far between, where like before I felt like I was constantly just looking for like new sounds and stuff like that. And then older I got, I was like, you know what, I got other shit, that I got to spend my free time doing.
Well, here's one thing. Oh, my bad.
Little Baby is the hottest rapper out, and I can't listen to not one song.
I don't even know what he sounds like. Like
I don't even know what he's saying because he's
like never heard Little Baby before.
Like going to your point, like for example, like I'm so kind of disconnected from new music. Like if you played a track for me, I might have heard it. I couldn't tell you who's there. Like I don't know what Little Baby sounds like. I don't know what I just have no clue. I'm not tapped in at all. I'm just so like I only hear shit when I go out or when people play it or I hear it out in the street, and I might be like, oh, maybe that's a good song, maybe it's not a good song, but I don't make the effort to find out who made it, why, what the origin is. So someone will say, oh yeah, this is a Little Baby song. I'm like, oh, that's what he sounds like. Like, you know what I mean? It was like the case back in college, Justin Bieber. I remember this vividly because I had this conversation with one of my roommates. I heard Justin Bieber. I knew who he was. I knew what he looked like, but I couldn't put his voice to a song. And then they played a Justin Bieber song. They're like, that's Justin Bieber. I was like, oh, okay. Like, and he's been out for like, I don't know how long at that point, but I just didn't put two and two together. Yeah.
Well, I mean, new artists are broken for me when I hear them with somebody that I actually do listen to. Like if they're featured on if they're featured, like if somebody's featured on a Drake song or featured on a Kendrick song or a Wale song or a Kanye song, because I still listen to Kanye. If they're featured on them, they'll be like, oh, okay, who's this guy? Like for instance, Baby Keem did a song with Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. And that song goes Family Ties. That is my joint. I have that song on repeat in the way. Like smoking on that top 5 for sure. All
so you sound like you keep up that.
Yeah, I keep up. You know, I don't follow the trends. I pay attention to them.
Smart.
I got a lot of time, listening time on my hands with my profession. So I'm a mail carrier. So I'm out here just listening to podcasts, put me up on business ideas, and put me up on music ideas, and just like current events and all that stuff. That's what I'm always listening to. So
hold up, I'm curious. What is it like being American? Like I'm very curious because like there's something you see every day, but I don't really know the process of like what the fuck. Like I know what you do, but I don't know what you do. So like, what is it like?
Is it like I'm curious. Snow or rain or hail?
Or is it like, you know, like what are your coworkers like? Yo, I have so many questions, bro. I just have so many fucking questions.
Dogs
like, how would you describe your job first, and then I'll ask all these stupid questions that you don't want to answer.
What's a typical day? What's a typical day?
Once you become a full-time worker, because you can come on as like part-time, even though you're going to get way more than full-time hours. You'll work like close to 60 hours a week. But you have no choice. So you'll be like an assistant to like the regular carriers. With that said, the job is fine. The thing that's the most consistently challenging is management and the outside elements.
Management in what sense?
Oh, they're incompetent.
Oh, like your management. Oh, they're just stupid. Okay. Yeah. Like what? So like, I'm curious. Like, give an example of how management would would mismanage. Like I don't know. I'm curious.
So I mean, everything is set up to be like a full-time day, which is 8 hours, and within that 8 hours, we don't get paid for breaks. So a regular shift might be, instead of like 9 to 5, it might be like a 8 a.m. to 4:30 type of joint, right? So with that said, they can easily mismanage like overtime. So somebody's out. It's not necessarily a job where somebody's like if somebody's not there on a route, it has to be delivered. So it has to get split up between people who desire overtime, because you could be there and not want overtime. You could just get there, do your 8 hours and bounce. And then some people like me that want the extra money because I got 2 kids. So so they split up that overtime, and that can get hectic. The management can forget that you're not supposed to be there, so you come there
forget.
Oh yeah, they don't know. They're like, damn. I thought like because there's one postmaster and multiple supervisors depending on how the size of the office. So you can say you're going to be off tomorrow, get it approved by one supervisor. They forget to put it on the calendar. So then all of a sudden, now your route doesn't get, delivered for that day. And then when you come the next day, after you did everything that you were supposed to do, now you have double mail.
That's crazy.
And then they want you to do that double mail within 8 hours.
Damn.
Do you get gifts from like people you deliver to, like for Christmas?
Yeah, I got a $100 gift card. That was the most recent.
What?
Yeah.
I never knew. I didn't get any gifts as a teacher.
Yes.
Dang.
She was flabbergasted.
Oh,
I am, because it's just like high school kids don't give you gifts.
oh,
like,
I got tons of gifts as a
like
teacher. Shit, I got one of them here.
It's only like the elementary teachers.
Oh
that
wow,
get all
Ugo's
the
gonna
gifts.
flex.
Big flex
you.
right here.
Wow.
Big flex right here.
Yeah.
So
you
the
would get
only
in
gift-
China, you would get a mooncake. That's what Sid got.
I heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah. That's our friend Sidani, who's in China. Just
Yeah.
had a baby. Saida, Loki, my goddaughter. It's not official, but we know.
Yeah. Loki, my niece.
Yeah, but yeah, back to the male stuff. Yeah, so it's just incompetent. Then you got the dogs. Dogs chasing. We supposed to spray dog spray and keep like a satchel, but I don't like keeping the satchel because it slows me down.
Yeah.
And I like having my time because like I'll be out here setting up pediatrician visits and doing this, doing that. So like I like my route I could finish pretty fast. So I don't let them know it because the faster you go, the more work they want to put on you. So I always try to finish.
You like stretch it out, like you finish your route, but you just kind of like, I'm not,
Yeah, my motto is I'm either on time or late. I'm never early.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that makes a lot of sense, especially if you have management whose incompetence kind of like fucks you over.
Yeah,
it's like, why
like,
would you want to be management?
No. I was at management at my my previous job, and
yes, he was.
You're one. I'm not a part of the union. If I would be managing.
Oh, okay.
And that helped me out a lot because they
benefits and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
You get yeah. I think the health insurance is better under the union as well. So
are they a strong union?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, it depends on the shop steward per office too, because you can have like a good like person that like director. I forget the exact name, but the person that works over every branch. Because I'm based out in Parsippany. So you can have like a good branch person, but then they have to hear complaints from your
EO.
Yeah, right. They have to hear complaints from your union representative. So your union representative is trash. It's not going to work. So you're only as strong as that. So we have a really good union representative. She's cool. Big Wu-Tang fan.
Hey.
So yeah. Yeah, we rapitate. So yeah, he's he gets busy. He likes giving management hell. So that's so and when management messes up and then like our union catches them, they got to pay money.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of like little rules like that. We're just like, oh, you forgot to do this, you got to do that. You got to pay everybody money, like the whole office.
Damn, bro. You should. I would encourage these fuck ups. So let's make them routine.
Yeah, I mean, some people just be like, all right, that's a grievance. Some people let it rock. Some people, because it might fall on them. They'll be like, oh, this route is open, and you're doing this and you're doing that. I don't say shit to them. I just keep moving. I let them dig their own hole.
Keep moving.
So yeah. Elements in management. People are cool. Some people will come up to you and it's good energy. Some people do like dumb crap. Like one dude rolled up on me and was like, I was doing somebody else's route because that person was absent. So it was overtime work. And homie was asking, he asked for his mail. One of it was from TD Bank. They just started asking me questions like, oh, who knows what TD stands for? And I was like, I believe Toronto Dominion. He was like, oh, how do you know that? I was just like,
fucking Google it.
What's the craziest shit you ever saw on your route?
I don't know. None too wild. They regular white people up there. White and Asian up in Parsippany. So no illegal activity that could speak to. Just
man.
Yeah, if he delivered in Newark or EO or Irvington, that'd be different. That'd be different.
Has stores.
Yeah, I purposely left I purposely did not go to the hood in the application process. So, I didn't want nothing.
That sounds crazy. Like, why would somebody do the mailman?
Damn,
I don't know why they didn't want that, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
Someone has to be the mailman.
Somebody has to be a mailman, not somebody has to be a mailman. Oh my God! No.
Thanks, Ugo. You jogged my memory. Some white dude came up to me and then was like wilding out, talking about like just about I don't know if anybody else on here knows, but the taxpayer money does not fund the post office.
No.
If people didn't know that,
I knew that.
That's a little tidbit. So, homie, he was on his MAGA Infowars, very aggressive.
MAGA Infowars.
He
Alex Jones.
He knew
Alex Jones. He's arguing.
Yeah. So he rolled up on me, an Egyptian
they're turning
carrier,
the frogs gay, bro.
an Indian carrier, and a Latino carrier. We all happen to be colored. Talking about we're wasting taxpayers' money, and then I was divvying out as me as the senior carrier in the bunch. I was like doing like something with the mail, spreading it out evenly so we can all get home. Homie rolled up on us, very belligerent, and started cursing, scaring the other carriers. I was looking at homie up and down, like, what the hell is this dude doing? He's like, yo, you're wasting taxpayers' money. You're supposed to be doing this in 8 hours. Get the fuck back in your trucks and get the fuck on the road.
That's funny.
Wilding out. I'm just like, huh? And then I feel bad for them because like they scare my people. And then I'm just looking at them up and down. And I just continue to do what I'm doing. And then he's rolling up to the damn windows of the trucks as they scurry to the trucks.
Oh wow!
Street harassment. And then people told me. And then in hindsight, they said like I should have like called the police. I wasn't thinking of calling the police. I called my supervisor because I thought I was gonna fight him. So I was just like, it was more like, all right, I'm gonna whoop this dude's ass. So I'm just like notifying y'all to protect my child. But they were just like, oh, he and then he had to call Cassidy to actually call the office and complain on us prior to harassing.
Interesting.
Him. He was like, oh yeah, that guy called. Just leave. I was like,
have you considered not wasting taxpayer money? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, if it was applicable.
I don't know, bro. I trust Alex Jones over you, bro. He's got like, he's got like mad followers.
Ben Shapiro too. That's this guy over here.
I think if we're talking, I think the LAPD and the NYPD is higher on the list of wasting taxpayers' money than the post office.
Hot take.
Happens to be the most trusted government agency. So
smoking on top 5 over here. See,
hey.
Amadi, tell us about how did you get into the traveling world, the traveling YouTube world,
and where have you been?
Because I've seen a couple of videos. You've been to Tulum, Bahamas. I saw you like swimming with pigs and shit. So
would you still eat a pig after swimming with them?
So I don't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian, just in general.
Egypt.
That's how she keeps her skin. That's how she keeps her skin so good.
But so what had happened in Egypt, I stayed at my friend's grandma's house, and I was like 5 months into not eating meat. So I'm like, I'm not about to tell this grandma I'm not about to eat her chicken. Like,
that's not a good look.
Respectful, you know what I mean? So like, but I tried to like stay with the sides, but she like slapped my wrist a little bit. She's like, eat more, because it's like insulting.
That's the culture out there. Northern African culture, they fucking feed the fuck out of you.
Facts.
Lunch was like a big dinner. And there was more coming out because it was a big spread for lunch. They took off, had some dessert, and then they brought us up. And you guys are not hungry? I'm like, we just ate 45 minutes. Like,
yeah.
No, I'm okay. I actually eat. So the countries that I've been to, Jamaica, obviously. I don't know. My brother, Ugo, had told you our mom is Jamaican, so we used to go to Jamaica every Christmas for like good 6 years in a row. We were in Jamaica. We have gone to Jamaica numerous times. I lived in Rome. I did a study abroad in Rome, and that kind of like got my traveling bug going. So I was like 7 minutes away from Vatican City. So that was really fun. I've gone to Canada. I've gone to the Bahamas. I've gone to France. I've gone to Netherlands. I've gone to Greece. I've gone to Egypt. I've gone to Thailand and Mexico. So those are the 10.
Were you inspired by Lupe Fiasco's song Paris Tokyo?
No, but you were.
She's been on a world tour.
World tour
for sure.
And I also seen a couple of videos. It's like you don't just document your sort of travel. It's like you give tips about, traveling on a budget or like, things of that nature.
Because so I recently I don't know if I qualify as retired, but I was a teacher for 3 years. So that means for working in the Philadelphia school district. So that means I was very, very poor. So I really didn't have that much money, but I knew I just really loved to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to spread that knowledge of like how you can budget and how you can like do all these things, because I feel like, especially when we talk about people of color, we look at traveling as really unattainable, like, oh, I can't do this. And there's some basis in that, right? It's called generational wealth. But just like on another note, we look at it as really unattainable, but it's possible. Like there's various different ways that we can budget and we can find avenues to go to places that we want to. I'm definitely not like a luxury traveler. You won't see me in like a resort where it's like a crazy view and like I'm sipping champagne. Like that's not the type of travel that I do. My thing is like I always like to say, tell me where your grandma lives. Like I want to be with like the people if possible. I want to learn as much as I can. So I was a history teacher, so I'm definitely a history buff, and I like want to learn all the things about wherever I am, even if it's like in the United States, because we sometimes don't realize how big the U.S. is and the different cultures within the U.S. So a girl coming from E.O., I'm not familiar with like the South. I'm not familiar with like different areas, and I was like having a conversation recently because as a Northerner, I had expectations of like what the South would be. I'm like, oh my God, it's really racist. Like, it's gonna be like really scary down there. I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. And then I went to Savannah, Georgia, and I fell in love. I'm like, oh my God, people actually say hello to you, and like they actually like help you just because like they're not asking for money, they're not asking.
But they don't care about your reproductive rights.
Listen,
oh my God, with the interjection
from the top rope.
Let's
he's like, but no abortions.
Let's make something all the way funky. In a totality, America does not care about your reproduction rights.
Absolutely not.
It's just the luck of the draw where you stay in America. But people are nice there. I can't lie. They're nicer than people up like in New York and New Jersey, because I live in Philly, in the Philly area. Philly hits different. Philly hits really different.
North Philly, right? North Philly, right?
So I did live in North Philly for a little bit. I taught in North Philly majority of my educator career, but I also taught in West Philly too, and that's where I live, and that's where I've been for 3 years.
Because there's a clear distinction between North Philly and South Philly, just like North Jersey and South Jersey, and
West Philadelphia.
And West Philadelphia.
Yeah, so like where I live is a pocket of Black ownership. So the people that I rent from, it's a cute little old lady next door. Her name is Miss Catherine. I'm pretty sure she does not know my name, so she always calls me lady. She's like, hey lady. I'm like, hi, how are you doing, Catherine? How are you? She is a very newsy person, so that's how Philly nosy. And she always likes to be in the mix, but I let her be great because I love the elderly energy. But so like depending on what pockets you are in Philly, it's like it hits different. So like South Philly is a lot of Italian people. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Frank Rizzo. He was a police commissioner back in the 60s and then became a mayor. Believed in white rights. He was from South Philly. So I'm not saying all people from South Philly are like that, but I'm saying there's a history and culture within that. And then you have
Was Rocky from South Philly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like South Brooklyn, where you have like Bensonhurst and places like that.
Yeah,
like South
Bay
Philly
Ridge, stuff like that.
A Bensonhurst vibe for sure. And then but Amber Rose is also from South Philly, so
Well, that explains a lot. That explains a lot.
But then you have like North Philly, that is like where Meek Mills is from, and when people think of like, I guess the quote unquote hood of Philly, they like associate that with North Philly.
Third world country, yes.
Big facts.
Not third world country.
I've
seen it on the YouTubes.
The YouTubes.
I mean,
the motorbikes.
Time, like, oh god,
the little Uzi Verts of the
motorbikes.
The little Uzi Verts of the world.
And the colors and all that.
It's really
and the drugs.
It's really annoying, but
well, the cheesesteaks too. Everybody, all my friends that are from Philly are just like, yo, if you want the touristy, basically, when with the New Yorkers, as Fab and DK and Ed Boy would attest, the touristy stuff is Times Square, right? That's Midtown. That's 42nd Street and whatnot. So my friends from Philly are just like, listen, the touristy stuff is South Philly. That's where Pats and Geno's are. That's where all the white people are, so to speak. That's where all the burbs are. That's South Philly. But they're like, yo, if you want a real cheesesteak, like a real cheesesteak,
you can go to Maxie's.
You go to Maxie's. You go to North Philly, and that's
because it's interesting because like I wouldn't necessarily. There's pockets that are like the touristic parts in Philly are like you said, like the Pats and the Genos in South Philly, like get a cheesesteak, and also like Old City. And it's so funny because I was just like in Old City last night. Like they do like tours because that's where the Liberty Bell is and Dolly Madison's house is. Fun fact, the first ice cream was actually tomato flavored. But that's where like the touristy stuff is. So, but then at the same time, like you have Center City where it's just like
the more you know.
I'm sorry, I do that all the time.
No, DK did the hand motions and I lost it.
That was a peacock?
The more you know.
But then like Center City is like, it's definitely a place for you to go have like a nice dinner. That's where like the Ruth's Chris are and like the steakhouses and stuff like that. Husani knows he's been to Philly a couple of times. Yeah.
Do you like maps?
Do I like maps? And like why? Because my background.
Your background, but you're just very detailed about a bunch of little things. So I figured. Maybe you look at maps when you're spare time.
This is true.
You just sit there and buy maps and just look through them?
Maps. But I feel like you were going to say yes until everyone made fun of you about it. It's okay if you do.
I'm not really good at like directions in general, so I wouldn't necessarily say I like maps. I just, I don't know, my brain just works that way. And I think I'm detailed because I had to be a teacher. So it's just like I can't like little things because maybe you will misunderstand me if I miss it, if I skip out.
I hated that song on Guitar Hero, by the way. Maps.
What song?
Maps. I don't like that song.
Maps. I like the Paramore songs. All of them.
I love Paramore.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so no maps.
Yo, actually,
great segue. Great segue, God.
She like because you're like what you're doing with your travel channel is kind of like Well, first let me ask, like, do you have sort of like a end goal in mind? Is it just like a hobby? Do you want to monetize it? Is it just something like a passion project? Like, or I mean, it might not be anything yet, or it's just maybe something you want to do. Do you have like any ideas with it?
Mark Wayne,
right? I have a shitload of ideas. So right now, my main thing is to delegate certain things because at this point in time, I'm literally doing everything. I'm doing the editing. I'm doing the promotion. I'm doing the filming, all the things.
A lot of hats.
Yeah, a lot of hats. And it's just like realistically, because I have a full-time job and I want to go back to school for education policy, I have to be realistic and be like, this is not going to work if I don't, delegate certain things. So I currently just found a video editor. So that's going to take at least like 10 hours from like my weekly routine. And then I'm also looking for someone to post for me, to be a social media manager, because I have to acknowledge that there's certain things that I don't thrive in. Like me being a personality, I'm good with that. But me posting on Instagram every single day, no, I'm not that good. And I'm aware that there's systems that I can like plan it out and stuff, but that's still me using some form of brain power that's going to be difficult. I do want to make this a business and I do want to monetize it, and I have multiple ideas of what that looks like once it is monetized, once I have that following. And the goal is always to educate, to get people interested, specifically people of color, into traveling, and also understanding that traveling is self-care and it helps with your mental health, because we all need to take a little time.
That's cool. That reminds me a lot of Diva Green. I Got Your Black. We had her on a while back, DK.
Yeah, I remember you talking about.
Yeah, and so basically I won't say she does something similar. It's related to travel, but what she does is that she has sort of she has a website where she details her travels, but what she specifically focuses on is like the Black experience in different countries, different parts of the world. So she'll travel somewhere, and then she may go to specific places that have like Black businesses, you know, abroad, or like a piece of African culture, and she has like a whole website. She has like a blog. So it's interesting. I think that would probably be a good connection for you, because she's pretty far on her like her website's very dope, professional looking. So I think that'd probably be like a good connection. It kind of reminded me of that.
Thank you. Would you say I Got Your Black?
Yeah, I Got Your Black.
Okay. Yeah, I'm writing that down right now.
And it's funny too that you're in the travel world, because I remember the first time I guest appeared on The Base, not The Base Rundown, it wasn't created yet. I just came back from the Dominican Republic on vacation, and shout out to DR and shout out to DK. I love your country, by the way. Just gonna keep saying that. It was hilarious because there was an inside joke going on with the guys that they were, on the previous episode of The Base that I wasn't on, somebody was complaining that Black people shouldn't travel because it's not safe or because it's whack or something like that. And yeah, I think the person
they know who they are.
I think the person who said it is on this show. I'm not going to say who it was, Fab, but I'm just saying Fab.
He's like, culture, that shit is stupid, bro.
But it was such an outlandish statement, Fab, that made that comment about Fab about traveling, and I just wish Fab didn't say that. But it's amazing that's what you do. I love it. I love traveling, and I'm definitely using your tips. When I get back into traveling post COVID.
Yeah.
Can I wondered how the pandemic affected like your group, because clearly like I beat you to it. So just because like I mean you're clearly still making progress, but like there's COVID, so I guess we should be scared.
Yeah, so fun fact, because this is a new channel, so I actually came up with the idea of doing this because I knew I wanted to do a YouTube channel for a while during COVID. There was a space and time during my summer vacation where I literally had nothing to do, and I think we were still in quarantine. So I was just like, what am I gonna like spend my time on? And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this thing. And initially my channel was just me telling like stories about the places that I've already been while we're like waiting for the world to open up. And like a good amount of my couple of first videos is just like me retelling like funny stories about like my experiences overseas. And then the world opened up a little bit more, and I was like, let's do it. Because before I even started the channel, I loved traveling. Like that was the thing. Like majority of the places that I listed were before I even started the channel. But once the world opened up a little bit more, I was like, all right, like I haven't left the country in a while. Like I'm itching. Like let's go. So I definitely think that it was a little bit scarier before the vaccine. I personally wanted to be vaccinated for multiple reasons. One was because they were going to throw me back into the school with children, and I wanted to be protected because unlike Husani's union, the teachers union is very weak and they don't stand up for you. But that's another story. And also, it was just like, I just want to like leave. Traveling is my self-care, and that's something that I really enjoy doing. So I definitely I wouldn't promote like traveling if you feel very unsafe. But if you understand the precautions of that, you have to take a COVID test, you have to you can have signs or symptoms before you go. Like if everybody has a negative test, then when you're actually entering the airport, you should be good. Like still do your precautions that you need to, but like if we're all understanding that everyone has a negative COVID test, then no one has shown symptoms or signs of COVID while you're traveling. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm curious, what is your favorite thing about traveling?
I think I have a couple. So one of them is like, I don't have to be the Amadi that everyone sees all the time. It's just like, like you are whomever you are on a day-to-day with your friends and your family and all that stuff.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer, by the way.
But it's true. There's like expectations.
Yo, Fab's face. Oh my God.
But there's expectations and all that stuff. But like when you're on vacation, you can be a little bit looser. You can be a little bit wilder. You can wear those pants that you might have not worn like in the city.
The leather joints?
The leather joints, the floral joints, so maybe the shorter joints, like whatever you feel in. And so I really enjoy like that release and that freedom that I get of like, all right, I'm in a space where nobody essentially knows me outside of the people that I choose to be in my space. So there's like a feeling of less weight on your shoulder because you have that conscious idea of I'm not going to answer these business calls today. I'm not going to deal with this stressful man or woman in my life today. I'm on vacation. Like you kind of create that boundary and that blockage, and it's just like it sets you to be like a freer, different person. So that's the main thing that I like. The other thing is like learning about different cultures. Like I'm just always like I love a good story, and I love to learn about people. So just like being in different spaces and learning about different cultures is like really exciting for me. And I think the third thing is doing something that you might not necessarily do when you're at home. Like I went on a hot air balloon. Like literally there's a hot air balloon at like the zoo down the street from me. But I'm like, I'm not going to the zoo to go on a hot air balloon. Like that's corny.
Why not?
But
right.
Because
that sounds pretty dope, actually. Why?
No, because it doesn't get that high also. Like it's not like a poppin' like hot air balloon. It just like goes a certain couple feet and then it comes back down. It's just all right, I'm not gonna do that. But like, yeah, sure, let's do it in Mexico and go over some like ancient ruins. Like that seems fun. So it's just like, and I feel like I'm not the only one who thinks that way. Like I feel, especially for New Yorkers, y'all don't like do the touristy stuff in your city because you're like, it's right there. Okay, whatever.
Nope. No, they don't. No, they don't. None of them have seen the Statue of Liberty.
I think
that's facts.
The same facts not doing New York.
That's facts.
It's touristy things in New York.
It's definitely a mixed bag. I mean, I can only speak for myself. Like I've done some of the touristy things, but not because it's touristy, just because it's like right there. But yeah, it's a mixed bag. But I mean, I think you touched on a lot of things. A lot of the reasons why people like to travel. I think particularly the first one
is getting loose.
Getting loose. Lil Jon voice.
Oh man. No, I mean there's a lot to unpack because one thing that you said in particular is that you create sort of like a bubble, like you insulate yourself from your regular sort of expectations or regular like responsibilities and people. And then when I heard that, I was like, that makes sense because when I travel, that's kind of the same way too. But I don't know. This is. I don't know if this is too deep, but it's like.
Go deep. It's okay.
It's like, is it necessary to travel to have that? like you could like any given person can make the decision to remove themselves from certain, because I don't know, me personally, I believe most of the things that we do is a choice, right? And I believe is that
choice is an illusion.
Well, hey, if you're a determinist, hey bro,
I didn't determine that.
Yeah, you did. Hey,
it's getting wonky.
Hey man, yo, I've seen your religious texts. I know what you believe, sir. So we know why you think the way you think, but
the power of Christ.
Boy, that's a good point.
But I'm not saying. I mean, I feel the same way. I think that's in general. Like whenever you go out of your bubble, it's kind of like, hey, I could be not more of myself, but like the self that I can't normally like show without some sort of repercussions or maybe some sort of self that I'm not comfortable with dealing with. And I always think about it because it's like I could be like that all the time, but am I willing to sort of like live like that? You know what I mean? It's like traveling is that
the purge.
Yeah, like traveling is like sort of a release.
What do you not do here that you do outside this country?
Nothing in particular, but to speak to like the removal of responsibilities, like for example, like if I feel compelled to like check my email, because like I have the kind of work where I have like hours, but I don't have hours. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can do work at any time and there's certain things that need to get done. Sometimes I'll feel compelled to like do things like, when I don't necessarily have to, but being in another country or being in another state is sort of like I create sort of like a mental barrier from those sort of things. And, that's what she was alluding to.
You're getting loose, bro.
Getting loose.
But I mean, people are loose. But I mean,
not loose enough.
But there is something to be said to that too. It's like a lot of people, you have a reputation here. Like some people have like certain things that they're into that it wouldn't be socially, conducive for them to express openly in their home country. So they go somewhere else, they scratch the itch, they do what they need to do, then they come back, and it's kind of like a cycle. That's like a very real thing. Me personally, I don't know anything I've done.
Marty, what are things you did outside the country that you wouldn't do in America?
Oh, come on, bro.
I mean, I don't.
Getting loose.
Oh, come on, bro.
Getting loose.
Yo, remember, you can go in as much and as little detail as you want. Just saying.
If you're uncomfortable with talking about a topic, let us know.
No, I'm fine. I can handle myself. No, I've never done anything like really crazy, but it's more of just the idea of, so like the best example, it's like really simple, but the best example is
you caught a body?
Like,
you murdered somebody.
Oh God.
Get the cat.
No, you see how she just laughed? She laughed like, I might have like.
No, but it's just like, for me, like, it's like feeling like, for women, sometimes we feel uncomfortable dressing specific ways in specific spaces. But like when I'm out and about in a different country, it's just like, I won't wear a bra today. I'm going to wear my short shorts. I'm going to look as appealing or unappealing as I personally want to. So like even something as simplistic as that is just like, who the fuck is gonna check me, or who's gonna say something to me? Y'all don't know me out here. Like in all of the ways. So it's just like.
When you go to other countries and people find out you're American, is it true that you're automatically cool?
Oh yes, absolutely, 110%.
Facts.
I think so. Okay,
everywhere I've been, absolutely.
Well, I think it's different for females because people.
Oh yeah, for women it's way different. Everything's way different.
Assumption, you're down to fuck. So like when you're but it is.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like, when I was in Rome and I was like, oh, I'm American.
Oh, it's over. Yeah.
People, first of all, Roman men are very, very, very aggressive. Like the two most aggressive men that I've ever dealt with were Jamaican men and Roman men. Like they're like,
I too have seen Cool Runnings. I know all about your. So.
But like. they have an assumption like, okay, you're on vacation, you're here to like what you call it, Losa said, you're here to party,
get loose.
Wow.
Get
loose. So it's just like I can't walk down the street without somebody like calling me and be like, yo, you want to fuck? And it's just like, I'm okay right now, thanks.
Cash, I'm okay now. Like,
no, that was a great point she had made about, you know, and I know from myself, because I do a lot of traveling myself too, especially before. No,
he's like, when I travel, I like, bro, I like the fuck, like. He's like, listen, I don't know. He's like, cat call me, please.
Cat call me, please.
I'm American. I'm from E.O. Come on.
I'm from E.O. Please. No, I mean that you guys are idiots. That factored. That absolutely factored into why I went out of state for college, you know, for sure. Like I wasn't going to Rutgers or any place in Jersey for college. I was like, yo, I want to go to Penn State. I applied all over the country. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and again, I wanted to get out of that bubble where everyone knows me and knows me for a specific role or to be a specific character or whatnot. I wanted to meet people from different places, see different things. I didn't know too much aside from Pittsburgh and Philly. I thought those were like the only two cities in Pennsylvania. I didn't know anything about Pennsylvania. I didn't like center. Honestly,
I went to Penn State so that corny high school me doesn't follow me, and then I can reinvent myself.
That factored in as well.
Oh man, I wish.
What everybody secretly wants to say, but
I wish I had a good reason. I wasn't self-aware enough to like decide why I wanted to go to school. It was just like my parents was like, yo. No, yeah, it was just like, yo, you got to go to college. It wasn't like I didn't even consider that there was another option because it's just like, yeah, go to college, Penn State. Okay, cool. Like,
did you consider schools in New York though?
I applied to, I think I applied to CUNY. I applied to like St. John's and Syracuse and like Penn State, and then. My parents were like, yo, well, Penn State looks nice. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. And that was it.
Did you get into other schools?
Yeah.
Did you get loose?
Bro, you was there.
We all got loose in college.
You was there.
Wait, so you guys all went to the same college?
We all went to Penn State.
Unfortunately.
That's how we all know each other.
Yes. When I got, it's funny. When I got to Penn State, DK was the first, and I want to say the only Dominican. He wasn't the only Dominican. He was the first. He was the first Hispanic individual that I met at GA. Not ever. Oh. At GA, and it's funny too because everyone who I talked to who was local, because we all went to the campus near Pittsburgh or McKeesport or whatever, Greater Allegheny. It's basically in Pittsburgh. That's where we all met. At that campus. When I talked to the locals about like the Hispanic population, all of them were just like, yeah, there's not really a lot of Latinos in Pittsburgh. I was like, really? They're like, yeah, really. There aren't really any, if any.
There's no
a lot of American cities are like that, particularly in the Midwest, which is very surprising. Like, most of the cities I've been to in the Midwest, it's like, other than Chicago, like where are the Hispanics, bro? Like,
honestly, everywhere I go, there's no such thing as like there's Hispanics unless I'm like in Florida or like a place where a bunch of them fucking migrated to.
Oh yeah, or Washington Heights, which is little Dominican, little DR.
Just because you haven't been you got to go to the West Coast or like Southwest.
Oh, facts. The Mexicans love you out there, bro.
I mean, California was once Mexico.
Yeah, no, literally, that whole section was literally till Uncle Sam was like, nah, son.
Same with Texas.
Yeah. Once again,
Texas and Louisiana and such. Yeah.
So Uncle Sam was like, yo, we need more space for football stadiums and Walmart. Fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah,
yeah. The Waltons.
Yeah. No, it's just so interesting. It's like, yeah, we travel to like reinvent ourselves, but I wonder if we applied that mentality to our lives, like normalize how different it would be. Because it's like a pragmatic choice at the same time. It's like a philosophical choice. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Of course you can, man.
I mean, you can, but there's repercussions.
Right? But like at the end of the day, it's just like, do we allow ourselves to be the most free selves as possible living in a society that forces us to work? living in a society that forces us to behave, living in a society that has stereotypes for us. So for us to say that, like, oh yeah, we can do whatever we want, like that's not